Last of Us is a 2023 zombie apocalypse drama series created by Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin for HBO. It is HBO's first series based on a video game and is a joint production by Sony Pictures Television, PlayStation Productions, Naughty Dog, The Mighty Mint, and Word Games. The 9-episode series is based on The Last of Us, a 2013 action-adventure video game developed by Naughty Dog and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. In the aftermath of an infectious fungus outbreak that turns human hosts into deadly monsters, survivor and smuggler Joel must travel with an orphaned teen, Ellie, to safeguard and deliver a world-changing secret. The good. As someone familiar with the video game on which the series is based, I must say they stayed mostly true to the original game story. I would hazard the guess that having Neil Druckmann, who was one of the original game's writers and directors, being part of this adaptation kept a tight rein on the script. While it does not come across as gamey to watch, the live-action series does give an immersively satisfying viewing experience. There are plenty of callback moments and times you'll see things play out exactly as they did in-game. Some of the original cast from the game make cameo appearances in the series. Pedro Pascal delivers the character of Joel with aplomb. Although he doesn't quite have the rugged build of the video game character, he's cynical, rough around the edges, yet oozing a bit of charming vulnerability. Ellie is played by Bella Ramsey, who does a stellar portrayal of the resourceful, quirky, pun-loving, wise-cracking, badass 14-year-old. She totally owns each moment of her screen time. Although it stuck to the game storyline, they fleshed out some characters and scenes that were previously throwaway references in the game, which also gave the series an air of intrigue as you navigated previously undeveloped characters and backstory, knowing yet equally not knowing what would happen next. The bad. For a series set in a dystopian zombie apocalypse period, I expected to see a bit more carnage, just like in the game where you sometimes had to hack your way out of zombie hordes. Not to say that it doesn't have its fair share of blood and gore. It is not suitable for all ages. A few episodes in and you'll ask yourself, when you signed up to watch a family drama series about a man and an orphan he's trying to protect in the way you failed to protect his daughter. That's not really a spoiler, as his daughter dies in the opening act of episode 1 and the story flashes to 20 years later. You're right, you're not my daughter, and I am as sure as hell ain't your dad. Joel, The Last of Us. The 20-year flash forward from 2013 when the series begins is a bit of a jarring jump. It's hard to reconcile exactly what happened between then and now. While it does give them space to create backstories and character build now and then, glaring potholes pop up like a mall that hasn't been used in 20 years yet has still functioning amenities. How do you still have electricity? Okay, suspend disbelief. The ugly. If you have no prior knowledge of the series and its video game basis, and were to watch it out of the blue, you might come across as having a rather pointless plot that drags as a drama about the questionable morals people adopt to endure and survive. In the post-apocalyptic world, right and wrong behavior have a multicolored palette of us and them. You fight for 20 years and you get nowhere. You're not a rebellion, just spray paint. The series sacrifices the action sequences for character development. In the game, Ellie's character gets to really be in the action. But I suppose there were ethical considerations too, since the character is supposed to be 14 and couldn't have them running amok in a street full of infected. Final thoughts. There's a reason why video games are not turned into movies and TV series. That's because they get butchered in ways which will offend the game fan base and yet still won't appeal to the non-gamers, leaving you with something no one wants. But sometimes, you win. The Last of Us managed to navigate that perilous balance presenting a TV show that I'm not surprised to find some quarters have hailed as one of the best game to TV show adaptation. Fun fact, the first episode is called When You're Lost in the Darkness, and the last episode is called Look for the Light, which is the motto of a band of revolutionaries in the series called the Fireflies. When you're lost in the darkness, look for the light. Have you watched it? Is it something you would watch? A local film set in Zimbabwe has the sort of feel you would get from The Last of Us. It's called The Signal.